This is the 17-inch Atomos Neon. It's an absolutely superb HDR monitor. It's also a 4K recorder. It's probably the very best production monitor I've ever used, and probably one that I'll never own. Sounds crazy? Let me explain. At 17 inches, this is the smallest monitor in the Neon lineup, and the first thing we need to talk about is how heavy it is. At 4.5 kilograms, this is one solid lump of a monitor. Feels very purposeful though. I've got the feet screwed on at the moment, but you've also got a VESA mount on the back and 20 solid mounting points all the way around the edges. This is clearly designed for the rigours of a production environment, which is great, but it is quite a heavy lump. And we haven't even started fitting the modular bits that come with it, because this is the main processor and recorder, which is actually a separate unit which clicks in. You've also got the SDI unit, again another modular unit which clicks onto that. And finally a caddy for the SD card that slides into the recorder. So now you've got two HDMI and two SDI connectors. I think the idea of keeping everything modular is a good one, because it gives you the potential of maybe upgrading things in the future without having to replace the whole panel. Strangely, for a monitor of almost £4,000, you don't get a remote. You have to use an app on your phone. And the app feels a little clunky, like they haven't finished designing it yet. I'm sure it'll improve when they come up with version 2. I didn't find the layout very logical initially either, but I've got used to it now. So let's plug it in and look at the important bit, which is the picture quality. So as soon as you turn it on, the first thing you notice is it does have a fan in it, and it is quite loud. Now, I'm not being fair because I've got the monitor right underneath my microphone, and on a proper set the monitors wouldn't be anywhere near the microphones. But can somebody explain to me why a domestic TV, like a big 65-inch HDR set at home, doesn't need a fan, but a small 17-inch monitor does? Is there that much more processing going on in here? Also, if you have to have fans, why can't we have large fans moving slowly rather than little fans moving quickly and making more noise? But anyway, like I say, once this is away from the microphones, you probably won't hear it. What we should do first is go through the basic specs. So the Neon 17 is a 16.5-inch 1920 by 1080 16 by 9 screen. Its brightness is 1000 nits and it'll hit 1200 nits at peak. It's a dynamic full array local dimming screen with 128 zones. And they call it 10-bit, but actually it's 8-bit plus 2 with that frame rate control flashing adjacent colours trick. But it's a full DCI P3 colour gamut, and it'll display SDR, HDR and 3D LUTs. It'll convert log, HDR to HLG, PQ and Dolby Vision. And it's got a very impressive 178-degree viewing angle. One HDMI 2 input and two 12G SDI inputs. And the recorder will do DNxHR or ProRes at 4K and up to 60p. But that's all boring stuff. Let's look at the pictures. And yes, I've got a camera outside. Now, it's really difficult on a YouTube video to properly convey the quality of a picture because it's always being downgraded by my camera and the whole YouTube process. But let me tell you, this picture is exceptional. Now, I don't have any way of calibrating this monitor at the moment, and I can't even find a manual online for it. I'm told one's coming. But straight out of the box, the pictures do look stunning. If anything, it's almost too bright. But the quality of the colour and the depth of the blacks just looks brilliant, and it's exactly the sort of picture that I would expect from this camera. I do think it's strange that the only way I can find to control this monitor at the moment is using an app on my phone. It looks like it should be a touch screen, but there's nothing to press, and the only thing on the back is the on-off switch. this is not that helpful if you're on a large set with lots of people all wanting to use the monitor. The monitor will normally automatically detect your video format, but you can manually switch between SDR and HDR, or the gamma and the gamut, and you can store up to 8 LUTs to use over your log footage. There's lots of tools to play with, like the overlays for the recorder, all manner of waveform and vector scopes, adjustable peaking, zebras, false colours. You've got zoom and markers for safe areas or frame guides, and you can do an anamorphic de-squeeze on the picture as well. So this monitor is all about the picture quality, and it is exceptional. The other great thing is the viewing angle. It's amazing. When you move around this monitor, the colours don't seem to shift at all. That's really useful on a large set with people crowded round. This is a very full-featured monitor, with the added benefit of a really good 4K recorder as well. And I know it sounds like a lot of money, almost £4,000, but in the world of colour-accurate reference monitors, it's actually not bad value. You can pay a lot more than that to get this sort of colour accuracy. This Neon is a great monitor, and it's possibly the best I've ever used. So why don't I think I'll ever own one? Well, it's not the price that puts me off, or the fans, or even the remote. I just don't think this monitor is aimed at me or the work I do. I'm not the target customer. This is a monitor that's clearly designed to be at the back of a large film set, or even a high-budget Netflix type production where you've got hair and makeup and lighting and FX people who really do need to see a very accurate monitor, or even possibly 5 or 6 of them. I think this monitor is even good enough to be used as a reference monitor in an edit suite. The superb build quality and the design of this monitor makes me think it would be ideal in the hire market. Film companies would hire multiples of these for weeks at a time, and then the price becomes irrelevant. Sadly, I'm not in that market. But this is a really good monitor. It's so good, it's in a better market than I am. Thanks for watching.